Pinetwork's native coin to be listed on xt.com. After Huobi announced that it would follow the updates of the Pi coin for a potential listing, xt.com is the second significant centralized exchange in as many days to express interest in the Pi network. XT Exchange confirmed through a blog announcement that it will use the Pi coin with USDT Tether to launch a trading pair. In the exchange's innovation zone, the couple will make their debut. The Pi network will be included on xt.com, and we are happy to announce that. The opening of the Pi network open mainnet is a need for the start of paid Pi coin trading on xt.com. There is no schedule for the Pi network mainnet, which is now in the closed stage. Users were urged to check back for updates on the deposit, withdrawal, and trading schedules in the XT Exchange notice. 800 trade pairs and more than 500 digital assets are supported by the socially integrated trading platform xt.com. 2018 saw the establishment of the Seychelles-registered xt.com exchange. Dubai is where its operational headquarters are, also its operations are based in Singapore, Europe, and other nations and regions, and it conducts business globally. More than 30 million users are currently a part of the ecosystem, with more than 3 million registered users and over 300,000 monthly active users. With all of the good press surrounding the Pi network, I have no doubt that it will be a huge success. In this video, I'd like to pose a critical question. Can the Pi network or Pi ever become the global currency for people all over the world? And, while this video should be taken with a grain of salt due to the amount of speculation involved, I think it's a pretty cool video in general. To begin with, if the Pi network is to become a global currency, a number of low probability events must occur before that occurs. And I'll make a point of discussing these unlikely events throughout the video. And near the end of this video, I'll also discuss where I believe the Pi network will be in a couple of years. And just think about this for a second, because I think this video is going to be pretty insane, but I hope it at least entertains you. So, what would have to happen for the Pi coin to be used in everyday transactions like the dollar or the euro? And, to make this vision clear, I'm referring to widespread adoption. Like your grandmother, your father, your uncle, and pretty much everyone else who uses Pi coins for everyday transactions. The first step is for people to want to abandon the US dollar, which is currently the world's reserve currency. This would imply that the US dollar would essentially become worthless, as happened to Germany's currency in 1923. And I'm talking about massive hyperinflation, where the value of your savings or investment account becomes worthless overnight. And even with all the money being printed and borrowed, this is unlikely to happen. The majority of the funds are borrowed from Japan or China. And, without a doubt, both of these countries have a vested interest in shaping the US dollar. Japan and China's economies are overly reliant on US consumers, and selling the dollar would raise the price of their products in the US, making consumers less likely to buy and effectively killing their own economies. We also cannot consider the printing of US dollars in isolation, despite the fact that Congress has authorized the printing of trillions of dollars since 2020. Other countries have done the same. To combat the pandemic, Japan has authorized a $929 billion stimulus package, and China has also announced a $500 billion fiscal stimulus package. Essentially, the value of the US dollar will not fall because every other country is also participating in this money printing game. However, this global money printing game may eventually be one of the reasons why currencies around the world crash. And this is the first step toward cryptocurrencies becoming the dominant currency used by people all over the world. Essentially, countries all over the world must screw up so badly that they have no choice but to use cryptocurrencies. Each time a country prints or borrows more money, its currency loses some credibility, and there will come a point where these currencies lose all value. Basically, money printing is fine on an individual basis, but it may become a problem in the aggregate. Now, I don't think countries all over the world believe they have the infinite money glitch, and that it will happen again and again. But, for the purposes of this video, let's assume they do. The US is printing more money, as are other countries around the world, and this will eventually lead to hyperinflation. Your $1 million retirement account is now worthless. Your savings account is worthless, and businesses can't function because the money they use has no value. And most people watching this video might think that now is the time for cryptocurrencies to take over. But not so quickly. The next step is for people to invest their money in cryptocurrencies rather than commodities or other currencies. What is more likely is that there will be one or two currencies in the world that still have some credibility, and that will be where the majority of the money will go, not to mention commodities like gold and silver, which have been trusted for thousands and thousands of years. And another question I have for you guys who are watching this video is, do you really want to live in a world like this when many of the world's currencies begin to crash? There will be a lot of suffering and despair in the world. This is when radicals begin to spread their message, knowing that many people are looking for a solution and an answer to their problems. Personally, I'm going to start dipping out and moving to some remote forests until everything settles down. To summarize, it may not be pleasant to see currencies all over the world crash. But suppose the crash doesn't happen for another 10 or 20 years. And by that time, people have a fairly solid understanding and acceptance of cryptocurrencies in countries such as China, India, and the United States, which have created their own cryptocurrencies that are self-backed. And if this is true and a crash occurs, it provides an opportunity for people to move their cryptocurrencies or US-based cryptocurrencies, or Indian-based cryptocurrencies into more decentralized cryptocurrencies, because I'm assuming all it takes is a quick click of the button by then. And suppose this occurs, and people exchange their government-backed cryptocurrencies for more decentralized cryptocurrencies. The final step in this bizarre scenario is for people to invest in Pi coins rather than other cryptocurrencies. And the question now is why they would invest in something like Pi coin rather than more popular cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. And the answer is that they probably wouldn't right now. This is due to the fact that Pi coins are still unproven and small in comparison to Bitcoin, XRP, and Stellar. However, this does not rule out the possibility of Pi coins in the future. Many people do not realize that each cryptocurrency has its own use, case, and purpose in the world. And in 10 to 20 years, we may have a wallet full of different cryptocurrencies for various purposes. Bitcoin could become the true digital gold that continues to appreciate in value, Ethereum could be used for smart contracts, and Pi coins could even be used for consumer-to-consumer or consumer-to-business transactions. But the truth is that Pi coins have a long way to go before any of this can actually happen. The Pi network, as well as the Pi coin, must gain credibility. The Pi network's blockchain must function, and the marketplace that the Pi network seeks to establish must succeed. This means that the Pi economy must have a sufficient number of buyers, sellers, and merchants. Furthermore, the platform must continue to expand over time. And the coin must become so popular that it eventually becomes a household name. I warned you that my analysis would be insane, and I wasn't lying. This is highly unlikely to occur. But bear with me for a moment before I tell you where I believe the Pi network will be in the future. This is not an easy task, and many coins have attempted to make it a reality. And, as I previously stated, much of this is pure speculation for the sake of the video. However, the Pi network and Pi coin have some characteristics that make it more suitable for use as a cryptocurrency in everyday transactions. To begin with, the Pi network is much more accessible to people all over the world. In fact, all you really need to earn any Pi is a cell phone and an app downloaded from the App Store. And this is different and much easier to understand than other cryptocurrencies that require more knowledge to mine. You can't say the same for many other cryptocurrencies around the world. And this accessibility could be the reason why Pi coins become the go-to option when a crash occurs. Consider recent hyperinflation cases in countries such as Zimbabwe, and you might conclude that Bitcoin will become the obvious case for people in these countries. But the issue here is that Bitcoin is simply not available to the average person. Furthermore, the coin's volatility made it unsuitable for everyday purchases. But what I can say is that most people will have a mobile phone in their pockets, allowing them to buy, sell, and trade Pi coins. And from this, you could argue that Pi coins will become the diamond currency for consumer-to-consumer and consumer-to-business transactions, assuming that government currencies around the world crash. To summarize this bizarre scenario, currencies all over the world must be so mismanaged that people must seek alternatives. And, by that time, cryptocurrencies must be so popular that people prefer to invest in them rather than other foreign currencies or commodities. Finally, because it has become a household name, the Pi network becomes an obvious choice. But, for the time being, I can't really conceptualize or even imagine this happening. We are far too early in the Pi network project to even consider this. Instead, here's what I truly believe will transpire with the project. When the coins are released in the coming years, a market will emerge. To be honest, this market appears to be quite niche at the moment. However, as the market continues to expand, corporations will begin to carry. As a result, these corporations will be forced to purchase massive amounts of Pi coin in order to advertise on the platform. As a result, an increasing number of merchants will accept Pi coin as payment. And this will essentially be a self-sustaining economy with no one in charge. If I had to guess what will happen in the next 5 to 10 years, I'd say everyone will have a wallet full of various types of cryptocurrencies. These currencies will primarily be used for different purposes, with the Pi coin being used to conduct transactions on the Pi network. Now, I believe this will occur, but the question now is how popular the Pi coins will be. In the worst-case scenario, I believe the Pi network or Pi coin will be a niche market for people who want to buy and sell things. It will not replace the US dollar or Bitcoin or Ethereum. Instead, it will coexist with other cryptocurrencies and real currencies, serving as its own economy on the internet. However, the purpose of this video is to both entertain and demonstrate that the currency does have some positive characteristics that make it a good reserve currency. In some ways, it is fully decentralized, accessible, and limited. And the success of the Pi network is entirely dependent on how popular it becomes in the coming months and years. So, if you want to see the project succeed, tell your friends and promote it as much as you can. Also, check out some of the free offers below that are available to you at no cost. And I hope you're having a good week. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like and subscribe. And, as always, I'll see you all next time.